What traditional methods can sustain your food supply through winter? Imagine a time when electricity was not available and families relied on simple, natural ways to keep their food safe during cold months. These methods are still useful today for building a reliable food supply for winter. They don't need power, just some knowledge and preparation. Drying or dehydration is one of the oldest ways to preserve food. You remove moisture from fruits, vegetables, meats, and herbs so bacteria and mold cannot grow. Sun drying works well in hot, dry climates, but in cooler or wetter areas, you can use a heated drying room called a still house. Dried foods are light, compact, and can last for many months or even years if kept dry and stored in airtight containers. Curing with salt is another effective method. Salt pulls moisture out of food and stops bacteria from growing. People use salt curing for meats and fish, often combining it with smoking or drying. Salt-cured foods can be stored for a long time without refrigeration. You might rub salt into a large piece of meat, then hang it in a cool, dry place for several weeks. Smoking is a traditional way to add flavor and preserve food. It involves exposing food to smoke from burning wood or other materials. Smoking creates a protective coating that prevents bacteria from spoiling the food. It's often used with curing, especially for meats and fish. For example, hanging a piece of salmon in a smokehouse for several hours can make it last through winter. Fermentation is a process where beneficial bacteria turn vegetables into preserved, flavorful foods. Sauerkraut, kimchi, and pickled vegetables are common examples. Fermented foods can last 4 months and provide probiotics that support digestion and health during winter. To ferment, you pack vegetables in a jar with salt or brine and leave them at room temperature for a few days to weeks. In colder climates, natural freezing is a simple preservation method. You can store vegetables like carrots, potatoes, and cabbages in underground root cellars or ice houses. These spaces stay cool and humid, keeping food fresh for many months. An underground cellar can be built with stone or wood and insulated to maintain low temperatures. Fruits can be preserved in sugar or honey. Making jams and jellies with sugar keeps fruit edible for months. Honey itself is a natural preservative because it is hostile to bacteria. You can store jars of jam or honey in a cool, dark place, and they will last for a long time. Some traditional cultures stored foods in animal fats or oils. For example, berries or greens could be dried and then covered with animal fat like seal oil. The fat creates a barrier against air and bacteria, allowing the food to stay edible for months. Finally, before modern freeze-drying machines, people used a simple method called sublimation. Thin slices of food were left outside during cold winter nights, where the ice turned directly into vapor. This dried out the food while preserving its texture and nutrients. It's a natural way to make lightweight, long-lasting food that can be rehydrated later. Building a root cellar or cold storage area is a smart move for storing harvested vegetables. Curing and smoking meats provide protein sources that last through winter. Fermenting vegetables creates nutritious, flavorful supplies, and drying fruits and herbs makes lightweight, long-lasting snacks. Combining these methods gives you a diverse, dependable food supply without electricity. These techniques also improve flavor and nutrition, making them perfect for emergency and long-term preparedness.